All right, friends, welcome back to PrepperNow. I want to talk today about some economic stuff that's getting worse, some numbers on inflation, and some job problems that are out there. Nothing is going in the right direction, so let's cover it here.
How would you expect to have prices come down if you have such a broad plan for tariffs? And what do you say to the voters who want to see you reduce everyday costs?
Well, let me just tell you that I got elected for a lot of reasons. Number one was the border. Number two was inflation, because I had almost no inflation. And yet I charged hundreds of billions of dollars of tariffs to countries. And think of it, I had almost no inflation and I took in $600 billion of money from other countries. There could be some temporary short-term disruption, and people will understand that. I had that when I negotiated some of the good deals for the farmers, and unfortunately those deals have been led astray by Biden and his people because they didn't enforce the deals.
All right, folks, so we are still obviously going through a lot of the inflationary problems. It came out today that the inflation in America unexpectedly went up, and we've all been to the store. We've seen the egg prices. Those are going up. I'm starting to see people purchase meat and other things in bulk in ways that they hadn't done before. We actually have gotten into, there's another big box store that has, it's like Sam's Club. It's called BJ's. We joined one of those in our area, and if Costco is closer, I'd probably be there too, because I just want options. I want to be able to buy stuff in bulk, and there's certain things like the milk at the BJ's is about 15% cheaper than what they have at Sam's Club. So we're doing everything we can to deal with the inflation. We're finding multiple stores we go through. My wife actually joked today. She said, I wish there was one place where we could go and just get everything. You get the quality of Trader Joe's, get some of the pricing that you have at Aldi, get some of the bulk stuff that you have at Sam's Club and the other, large member clubs like BJ's and Costco, all of that. So there isn't that. So people have to go and do things in a way that they are kind of pooling their resources or have multiple choices. Not only that, with a lot of the problems going on with just keeping things in stock, like eggs, you can only buy 2 per grocery visit. It's good to have options. And a lot of places, they'll get things, the salmon. We like to eat salmon. We got some really good salmon at BJ's as well. A few other things. We also they've got a few more organic options. We do try to keep some organics in our household. So all of that aside, the pressures on the average person are getting worse. The inflationary pressures are getting worse. It's not just in America either. It's happening out in Japan. They're showing inflationary pressure. And they've got data that shows that there was a 4.2% rise of their consumer goods price index, or CGPI, which shows that their prices are going up. And of course, they thought it was only going to be 4%. It goes up. December was 3.9. So they're showing a rise in their consumer pricing, and it's been going on for many months, which of course is putting a lot of pressure on the average Japanese person. What's going on in Australia? Another place. Well, their survey of consumer inflation for February has had quite a surge as well. They went up by about 4.6%. In January, it was 4%. So it is going out. And so their banks are all putting out the warning signs and saying that a rate cut really isn't in the cards right now. America, same thing. Rate cut isn't exactly in the cards right now. So they're just having a tough time fighting inflation. Goldman Sachs just adjusted its inflation outlook following the latest consumer price index report that came out. And so it comes out that they're slightly above what it was. It came out 0.35%, slightly above 0.32, which of course, this doesn't sound like much, but this does translate into real problems at the grocery store for the average person. Now, I think a lot of times they take these numbers and they make them sound all official and low, But realistically, when you go from 4% to 4.6%, that's a 12-15% rise over 1 month. That's quite a lot. So that gets shown in your pricing of whatever you're buying. So a lot of this is going on. There's a 0.38% month over month rise, annual rise of 2.51%. And they're just saying that basically all this is not getting under control. It's all going and getting worse. So what does this mean? This means that your eggs are going to keep going up. It means your chicken's going to keep going up. It means your beef prices are going to keep going up. It means your everyday items are going to keep going up. Even your staple type stuff. Maybe you like to buy pasta and rice. All of that is going up as well. And so these pressures are not abating. Now, I love it when people come out and say, oh, well, like I saw a video of people putting stickers just like they used to do with Joe when the gas prices went way up. Picture Joe with his pointing finger onto the pump saying, I did that. Well, now, supposedly, there's people going around with Trump's face doing it on the different everyday items of groceries. Well, I think we need a little bit more time. Hopefully, they are going to get things under control, but at the same time, maybe not. We'll just have to see. Nothing is instantaneous. No one, I think, is expecting anything to get changed after 2.5 weeks, but they are expecting things to come down over the short term, and so we'll just have to see how that goes. But the other problem is there are a lot of places that are closing, and there are a lot of people that are losing jobs. I don't have to tell you about all the government jobs that are going away right now. My wife actually saw someone today because she was a USAID worker, and she wanted anxiety meds because she's worried about her job. She doesn't know where her future is going to be. And, well, that's just the way it goes sometimes. And so to that person, maybe get your resume up to date and do something that will hopefully be a long-term solution to your potential unemployment. Because I'd say if you're in USAID, you might as well look to get a new job here pretty soon. But there is Joann Fabrics. You guys have all seen these places. It's pretty, not a specialty store, but they have a lot of things. And they are possibly going to close 500 stores because there's a second bankruptcy filing, okay? So bankruptcy, of course, is a legal option if you want to eliminate part or all of your debt, restructure, and it can provide some relief, but at the same time, it does have consequences. So Joann is having a lot of problems. In a recent court filing, they say they've got 530 underperforming stores, 40 states, and they're going to immediately begin closing them. We have heard the same thing going on, if you remember last year with Red Lobster. They were going to close all of their stores. Numerous stores are having problems and they're closing up. So they've got 800 stores open and 500 to 530 of them are going to be closing. You might also remember Party City. They just went under. A lot of these big box stores, a lot of them are feeling a lot of pressures. So a lot of people should be worried about the potential for their job. Where does prepping play into this? Prepping can get you through. If you have food stored up and you can go a couple months and not have to waste your money on buying food, and you can, put it into gas money, so maybe you can go find a new job and go to interviews or whatever. That is important, and it's smart. Just another thing that prepping can do for you. But as it goes for the larger American society, as it goes for the larger society in the world, inflation is not going anywhere. It's actually getting worse, and as right as all that is going on, you're seeing multiple companies start to lose money and start to close down. And so with all of that, you're just going to see a lot of economic pressures hit, and people are going to have to start to deal with them. But it's interesting. They've got a list of all the underperforming places, and here in our neck of the woods, Westminster, Columbia, Bel Air, Parkville, Laval, Hagerstown, California, Gaithersburg, Greenbelt, Frederick, Brandywine, Prince Frederick, and Wheaton. Just in the great state of Maryland alone, all of those are going to be closing. So maybe you're into the fabric thing and you want to get a nice deal. Hitting a Joann store in the next month might be a wise idea, but you might want to start to tighten your belts and get some food and things stocked up, as it seems like we're going to have a pretty rough economic forecast coming over on the horizon. So you can do what you can to stave that off. And of course, prepping is the best thing to do. When you have everything you need, then you don't need anything. All right, friends, if you like what we're doing here, you know what to do. Hit the darken out the bell, get the notifications, and yeah, we will keep pumping out the information, letting you know about things in real time as they're going on. You can join us on Subscribestar and Locals for a couple few bucks a month, where you get information over there. And of course, you can join us as a member here on YouTube. It does help keep our friends in the background placated. And then, of course, there's X, Minds, Gab, and Truth. If you want to get the information over there, we're growing in all of those as well. So thank you all so much for being here. Share this out. Enjoy the prepper community. God bless, and we'll see you on the next one.